Is Manish Nigam, and today I am going to explain you the poem The Voice of the Rain, written by Walt Whitman, and this poem is from class 11 Hornbill. But before I start the poem, let me give you a brief introduction of the poem. In this poem, the poet has actually explained that he had a conversation with the rain. And when he asked a question to the rain, "Who are you?" the rain replied. And what answer the rain gave to the poet, he has translated the same answer here in the form of a poem. And the poem replied that how does it originate, from where does it originate, where does it go, how does it come, what are the different tasks that it does, and finally what happens to the rain. In this chapter, my dear children, the poet has used a scientific fact, that is water cycle. You all would have read the water cycle. The water evaporates from the land, from the water bodies. It goes into the sky. There it forms the clouds, and those clouds come to the land, come to the earth in the form of rain. So we have three poetic devices used in the poem. First of all, personification. As the rain is personified, rain here behaves, acts or narrates like a human being. Personification is a poetic device where the objects, whether it is a man-made object or a natural object, it is embodied with the human traits, human characteristics. The second poetic device that you will find here is hyperbole, Hyperbole. Hyperbole is actually an exaggeration to emphasize the real situation. The bottomless sea is hyperbole. And the third poetic device that you will find is imagery. What is imagery? Imagery is a poetic device that gives you a mental picture, creates a visual in front of you. If you check the first line of the poem, soft falling shower. So this soft falling shower gives you an imagination of rain. So these three poetic devices the poet has used. Now let me explain the poem line by line. And who art thou? Said I to the soft falling shower, which is strange to tell, give me an answer as here translated. The first two lines are spoken by the poet, and the remaining lines are explained or narrated by the rain. In the first two lines, the poet asked a question, who art thou? Means, who are you? And the rain asked this question to the rain. The soft falling shower means the rain. And for his amazement, the second line, and for his amazement, for his surprise, the rain replied him. And what the rain replied to him, he has translated the whole thing here in the remaining parts, in the remaining lines. Now the third line, the rain says, I am the poem of earth, said the voice of the rain. Eternal I rise impalpable out of the land and the bottomless sea. I am the poem of earth. Poem of earth, that is metaphor. The poet has compared the rain with the poem. So that is a metaphor, indirect comparison. And the rain says that I am the poem of the earth. Poem is what? It's a adornment. It's a beautification. In literature, we all know that poetry is used as an adornment. So the rain says that I am the poem of the earth. I rise. Eternal I rise. Eternal means an endless journey. It never stops. So eternal I rise, impalpable. Impalpable means which cannot be touched. When the water evaporates from the land or from the other water bodies, it cannot be touched. So that's why the word impalpable is used. So I rise, eternal I rise impalpable out of the land and the bottomless sea. From where do I rise? I rise from the land and from the bottomless sea. Bottomless sea, remember hyperbole, that is exaggeration. So from where does the rain rise? The rain rises from the land and from the sea, from the ocean, from other water bodies. Now the next line, where does it go? It rises, it evaporates, and then where does it go? In the next line, upward to heaven. Where do I go? I go to the sky. Heaven means sky. Whence? Vaguely formed, altogether changed, and yet the same. Whence? I go to the sky, I go to the heaven, where I change my formation, vaguely formed. You would have seen the clouds, some are huge, gigantic, and some are small. So, vaguely formed means it is different or varied in shapes and size. Okay, but it remains the same. What it is? It is actually the droplets, the water. So, it remains the same in the form of clouds. So, upward to heaven, whence vaguely formed, altogether changed, and yet the same means I go to the heaven, there I change my formation, there I change my form. Vaguely formed means I vary my formation, but I remain in the form of water. Next point, next line. Now, after the formation of cloud, what happens? I descend down. The next line. I descend down. Descend means come down. I come down. I descend down. Descend to leave the draughts. I descend to leave the draughts, atomies, dust layer of the globe. I come down and fill all areas where there is dryness, where there is shortage of water, where there is scarcity of water, drought, famine. You all know well. And I also clean the atomies. Atomies are the tiny particles. And I beautify the earth by removing its dust. 3 points you have to remember till now. 1. The rain rises from the land and the sea. It goes into the sky, there it forms the cloud. And third, it comes down and it provides water to those areas where there is shortage of water. Then it clears everything, cleans everything, and it also removes the dust from the earth, means it beautifies the earth. And all that in them without me were seeds only latent unborn. Apart from cleaning, apart from providing water, what does it do? It provides life to the unborn seed. The seed that was dormant, buried under the land. When the water comes, when it rains, it is nurtured, it is nourished, and it starts germinating into a sapling and then into a beautiful plant. So the rain gives life to a seed which was buried. And forever, by day and night, I give back life to my own origin. I give back life to my own origin. My origin is the land and the sea, ocean, lakes, river, all water bodies. So I give life back to my own origin. Means I provide, I fill all water bodies so that I can continue my cycle. I can continue my endless journey, eternal journey, and make pure and beautified. And I make the land pious, neat and clean, and give the Mother Nature a scenic beauty. I simply beautify the land. After rain, you see everything is neat and clean, crystal clear, and it looks awesome. And now come to the last two lines which are in the bracket. You can ask a question why the poet has used these lines in the bracket. So simple answer is that the poet has actually compared the rain with the song. Don't worry, it's not a simile or a metaphor. It's a simple comparison. So the poet says that the song is like rain. as the song originates from one place, composed by musicians, singers, and all, and then it travels all over the world. And after completing its journey, whether it is ragged or unragged, liked or not, admired or not, it returns back to its originator, that is, musician. Similarly, the rain originates from the land, from the bottomless sea, from the ocean, from the river. It goes into the sky, there it forms the clouds, it returns back to the land again, and it returns to its origin place, that is land. Let me read the line again. Last two lines in the bracket. For song issuing from its birthplace after fulfillment, wandering, ragged or unragged. Ragged means identified or admired, unragged means not admired. Duly with love returns. So the rain has been compared as a song by the poet, and the poet says the journey of a song is like rain as it originates from one place, completes its journey, whether it is admired or not, it returns back to its originator, its origin place. So it was the explanation of the poem The Voice of the Rain. I hope you would have understood it. And for the summary and question answers, you can check the description. Thank you and God bless.